Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Ali Madad, all friends, and we welcome RIYAZ Sahib for this wonderful topic this Saturday afternoon.
Okay, Yalimadat everyone, with Allah's mercy and everyone's prayers. I'm very delighted to share some of my thoughts on this topic of wisdom. And it's very important that, in our personal search, that we all seek for wisdom and ta'wil. And of course, the source of ta'wil and wisdom is the Imam of the time, and after the Imam, those elevated souls like from the Dais and Hujjats, like peers, we are able to gain some wisdom, some deeper understanding of our faith from the Imam, in addition to the Imam, the peers and Dais, because those peers have written in the Ginans, like their experience is more experiential. So with this topic of wisdom, because we all are in a search of the Imam's light, and this is everyone's prayers, and Imam himself prayed that once during the lifetime, Imam's Noor touches our hearts, and that's what we all yearn for, and we all pray for. So with that, it's very interesting that when we look at Imam's Faramin, there are many layers of meanings. Like, for example, Imam Sultan Shah alayhi salam said, which I would paraphrase, that Imam said that there are thousands of meanings of Imam's Farmans. So when we try to think about deeper meaning or the inner meaning of Imam's Farman, when we personally engage into that, the good way is to make a connection with the Ginan or with the Farman or with the Quranic verse. Then, how would I know that the understanding which I'm gaining about this Quranic verse or from Imam's Farman? So the good way, one of the ways is to look into it, is to make a connection with the Ginan or with the Farman, what we are thinking. So that's how we would know that we are understanding this this Quranic verse or this Farman in a right direction. So just to give you this example, and just in Imam's Faramin, as we all know that Imam always says that the Imam wants to see smile on our faces, right? And the Imam said that we should be always happy. So this happiness is not only in a physical sense, but as we all know, that happiness is in a spiritual and intellectual aspect also. Like, for example, during the Golden Jubilee and Diamond Jubilee time, as we all know, that Imam was in a good sense of humor. And this is just to refresh everyone. I know it's been a long day for some of you. So it was asked to Maulana Hazimam by the Australian leader, and he asked to Maulana Hazimam that Khudawand, please come to Australia and bless the Jamaat with your didar. So since, as you know, that Imam was in a very good sense of humor, so at that time, Maulana Hazimam said that right now I'm taking care of horses. When I will be taking care of kangaroos, I will come to Australia. So this is just one thought that Imam wants us to be happy. But this happiness, the physical happiness, leads us to go into the spiritual and intellectual happiness. So the source of one of the sources of that spiritual and intellectual happiness is through engaging in zikr, remembrance, and acquiring spiritual knowledge, seeking for the wisdom. So here in this particular speech, we will look at that Quranic verse which Imam is referring here in reference to wisdom. So I'm not going to play the complete recording, but we will just look into it, those sections in which Imam talked about wisdom and the Quranic verse which Imam is referring to. So let me just play this one quick. And I'm sure that some of you have read it couple of times and watched it.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Excellencies, Your Worship, distinguished scholars and guests, ladies and gentlemen, an assembly of the wise and learned is a privileged occasion. I'm therefore immensely happy to be with you this morning as you begin your deliberations on a theme which, though of perennial interest, holds a special significance at a time that calls for enlightened cultures, mixed faiths, and cultures. Whatever its vernacular forms, the language of art, also when it is spiritually inspired, can be a positive, barrier-transcending medium of discourse, manifesting the depths of the human spirit. The venue of this international colloquium is particularly appropriate. In its architectural design and definition of broader functions, the Ismaili Center in London, like its counterparts in other countries, has been conceived in a mode of dialogue, of humility, of friendship, and of harmony. These centers reflect a commitment to premium excellence of endeavor in the realms of the intellect and the spirit. I thank you most warmly for setting aside the time from your busy schedules to participate in this colloquium. I also congratulate the Institute of Islamic Studies for making the 25th year since its inauguration through this timely event. This is part of the ongoing ambitious program of Quranic studies, in which scholars from around the world, both Muslim and of other persuasions, are participating. They bring together a variety of academic disciplines on a reflection on how Islam's revelation, with its challenge to man's innate gift of quest and reason, became a powerful impetus for the new flowering of human civilization. This program is also an opportunity for achieving insights into how the discourse of the Quran Sharif, rich in parable and allegory, metaphor and symbol, has been an inexhaustible wellspring of inspiration, lending itself to a wide spectrum of interpretations. This freedom of interpretation is a generosity which the Quran confers upon all believers, uniting them in the conviction that all merciful Allah will forgive them if they err in their sincere attempts to understand His word. Happily, as a result, the Holy Book continues to guide and illuminate the thought and conduct of Muslims belonging to different communities of interpretation and spiritual affiliation from century to century in diverse cultural environments. The Noble Quran extends its principle of pluralism also to adherents of other faiths. It affirms that each has a direction and path to which they turn, so that all should strive for good works, in the belief that, wheresoever they may be, Allah will bring them together. Tradition honors the vocation of the learned scholars who are gathered here for this colloquium. The Quran itself acknowledges that people upon whom wisdom has been bestowed are the recipients of abundant good. They are the exalted ones. Hence, Islam's consistent encouragement to Muslim men and women to seek knowledge wherever it is to be found. We are all familiar that Al-Kindi, even in the 9th century, saw no shame in acknowledging and assimilating the truth whatever its source. He argued that truth never abases, but only enables its seeker. Poetizing the Prophet's teaching, Nasir Khosrow, the 11th century Iranian poet-philosopher, also extols the virtue of knowledge. For him, true jihad is the war that must be waged against the perpetrators of bigotry. Through spreading knowledge that dispels the darkness of ignorance and nourishes the seed of peace that is innately embedded in the human soul. This colloquium covers a range of Muslim expressions in the arts across time and space. Some among the eminent scholars present today have observed that while the Quran may not propound the doctrine of Islamic art or material culture, it does have imaginative scope in this direction. Its passages have inspired works of art and architecture and shaped attitudes and norms that have guided the development of Muslim artistic traditions. In this context, would it not also be relevant to consider how, above all, it has been the Quranic notion of the universe as an expression of Allah's will and creation that has inspired in diverse Muslim communities generations of artists, scientists, and philosophers. Scientific pursuits, philosophic inquiry, and artistic endeavor are all seen as the response of the faithful to the current call of the Quran to fund the creation as the way to understand Allah's benevolent majesty. And Surah Al-Baqarah proclaims, wherever you turn, there's the face of Allah. Does not the Quran challenge the artist as much as the mystic to go beyond the physical, the outward? So to seek to unveil that which lies at the center, it gives life to the birthday. It's not a great work of art, like the ecstasy of the mystic, a gesture of the spirit, a stirring of the soul that comes from intent to experience a glimpse and an intimacy with that which is ineffable and beyond being. The famous quote of Noah, whose first line is rendered here in the mural behind me, inspires among Muslims a reflection on the sacred, the transcendent.
Riyaz sir?
Such a cosmos
Yes.
full of sounds and symbols.
Video is not very clear in the voice.
Oh, it's not clear. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, so what I should, I will maybe just give you, we can just come to this this point. I can just, summarize some thoughts here. So you can see this screen? The
Yes, sir, if you could go to the share sound and share it, the voice will be clearer.
Share.
If you go on the type on the top right of your screen, the three dots, you click on those three dots and you'll get an icon which says share sound.
It's saying support. It's saying go to meeting help and community, save logs.
I have shared the video link into the chat, so inshallah friends can go ahead and watch the video as a review.
Yes, yeah, you can do that. Yes. So I can just summarize some of the thoughts, what I got from this. This is a very important speech in which Hazimam talked about, how Quran has allegories, parables, symbols, and metaphors, and it has a range, variety of, open to interpretation, as Imam talked about, because Imam is in a general gathering. And this particular speech, the reason why I picked up is that in this particular speech, Imam referred to this Quranic verse, which is Surah number 2, ayat 269. And Imam said that, you know, the wisdom is bestowed upon those individuals. So this is the Quranic verse, and it is from Surah number 2, verse 269. Allah says He grants wisdom to whoever He will, and he who is granted wisdom has been granted abundant good. So in the Quran is khairan kasira. So the question is, who are those individuals who are bestowed with the wisdom or the ta'wil of the Quran or hikmat? And I'm sure we know this. And what we can do is we will try to learn this from some of the sources which I have here. So let's move on to this idea of wisdom, that how would we understand this word wisdom, and what are some synonyms of this word wisdom itself. So I have this on the screen, and what I would like, I would have, you know, a couple of volunteers that if you can just share with me what is your understanding in reference to wisdom. Or wisdom or ta'wil, and you can pick up any points from here. As you can see the reference that I took this particular reference from Allama Sahib's book, Book of Healing, and just want to hear how would you understood this idea of wisdom. Either you can take points from this screen, or you can add anything else from other source if you like. So please unmute and please share some of your thoughts in reference to wisdom or ta'wil.
Sir, I can share my thought.
Yes, please.
So, as the wisdom is the divine gift, so I think when we take education, we learn the education, we acquire the education, versus the wisdom is not acquired, it is given through the divine power. So that's the difference. That's the thing I understand from the wisdom, that education helps us to understand, and wisdom comes within us, from within the divine source.
Okay, yeah, that would be good thought. Anyone else?
Can I add?
Yes, please.
I also understood in the same way, but you know what? Wisdom requires experience. It needs time, whereas the education and the secular education, you can just read a book and you're ready with the knowledge about it. But wisdom requires a lot of preparation, a lot of experience, and it's more esoteric rather than materialistic.
Yes. Yeah, that's beautiful.
I may be wrong, but you can correct me.
No, that's right. That is, as Fariel said, that it's something which is atai knowledge. It's not a iktisabi or bookish knowledge. Wisdom is the atai knowledge which the Pir or the Imam has, and we get some of its reflection through complete obedience and the submission to the Imam. Anyone else?
Yeah, Madad.
Maulana Madad?
I just like to add a little, your permission, please.
Yes, please, Karen.
I think wisdom only comes from love. Because Faruddin Attar says, چون مست ری عرفان شوی بر هم خلق جهان سلطان شوی. It's when you become in love with first among your Jamaat, then outside your Jamaat, then with planet, with animal, then try to make light yourself from material, because the gravity is sometimes can make you heavy, doesn't make you to fly or Rumi to dance. Then man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa rabbahu. Till you don't understand yourself, then you will not understand your Lord and your Imam. So it's very important. And Azir Imam also said in that the sound was not very clear, but I heard Mawla said about وَلِلَّهِ مَشْرِقُ وَمَغْرِبُ فَإِنَّمَا تَوَلَّهُمْ فَسَمَا وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. मशरिक और मगरिब, अल्लाह के जिस तरफ आप मुंह करें अल्लाह उसी तरफ है. आपको जब ये सिस्टम पे नहीं आवे तो आपको you can't get wisdom and you cannot get. It starts from love. Start practicing love. Love it means does not mean to just love yourself. Love each other. Love everyone. Love animal. Love everyone. And dance and light yourself. Spin till you get very high.
Yes.
Till you get to wisdom come to you. Wisdom you cannot learn from the book. It's one of a great poetry says, Na arif na danishman charpayi bahu kitab chan. So just those who read book, PhD, university, doctor, it's they have the skill, but they don't have the wisdom. They only know about one thing, how the teeth work or how the hearts work. But the wisdom come from love. First, love yourself. Arafa nafsahu, understand your ruh. Then Imam. Then Hanafillah. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That was beautiful that as you added some of the references from Fariduddin Attar. And of course, that to fulfill our responsibility at the level of Hakukul Ibad and Hakukul Allah, and to love each other. And that's what we find in Imam Sultan Shah's writing, that purposes of our life is to to help other and to live for others also. Right? So that is also very significant. And here what we are going to, someone also wrote about mono-reality, oneness, to submitting ourselves into the light of Imam and complete obedience. That is also one another element. So there are many other elements, and thank you for those who share these thoughts. And I know other people would also like to share, but thank you so much for coming forward. So what we are going to do is, since this is a very vast topic, and I just try to share with you some of the thoughts, and this is open, that because there are many layers of inner meaning there. And as Dr. Fakir Sahib explained earlier this morning, that when Imam Jafar Sadiq was asked about a Quranic verse, Imam Jafar Sadiq provided the Tawil 7 times, and Imam said it's more than it's 70, and even more than 70 times if you come to me. And even according to Hamiduddin Kirmani, there is a batin of batin, it's hidden into it. So let's look at some of the synonyms of this word hikmat, which we find in the Quran, hikmah. So the one synonym is tawil, and another synonym is ilme ladunni. So in this one, if we can just look at the word tawil itself, so tawil is from awwala, which means to go back to the origin. And here in this book, 1000 Wisdom by Allama Sahib, as you can see here, that its origin is awwal. And then the another synonym for this word tawil, you would say, or hikmat, you would say, it's ilmi ladunni. So the ilmi ladunni it's something, ladunni means which is very near, as given to as you can see that it's given to the chosen servant, And in this reference, we can also recall the story of Hazrat Musa and Hazrat Khizr, that at the junction of two rivers, Hazrat Musa met with Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam. And we can, I'm sure we all have heard this story, and we can find it, we can just look into the Quran, what this story is about, and try to think about some of its inner meaning. And some of its inner meaning, which I find in some of the books, I would like to share with you. And as you know, the story of Hazrat Musa and Hazrat Khizr is that Hazrat Musa wanted to learn more knowledge, and Hazrat Musa was guided to go toward the junction of two rivers, and was given the fish, and was thought that, you know, where the two rivers meet, you can just put the fish, place the fish over there, and the guide will come and the guide will help you. And he met with Hazrat Khizr, and Hazrat Khizr kept this condition that in order for you to gain knowledge from me, that you are not going to ask me any questions, and you would be very patient. And during the journey, there are three incidents, three main incidents. That one, Hazrat Khizr alayhi salam did the whole in the boat. And then Hazrat Musa asked the question, and he was reminded that you are not going to ask the question. And then the second one, and that Hazrat Khizr killed the child. And the third one is that Hazrat Khizr built the wall, which was belonged to orphans, boys. And Hazrat Khizr built the wall over there. And when they went to this particular village, the people of the village did not treated them well, and did not give them anything to eat. And Hazrat Musa was kind of upset because Hazrat Khizr didn't take any payment of building the wall, which was about to collapse. So this is what the kind of brief story is. And now, how Hazrat Khizr answered these questions. So we will, you know, find in the Quran, and then we can, you know, come back to its some of its inner meaning. So in reference to the first incident, behold, Moses said to his attendant, I will not give up until I reach the junction of the two seas, or until I spend years in the travel. So this is about in the beginning. So Khizr said, this is partnering between me and you, and I will inform you of the ta'wil of that about which you could not have patience. So Hazrat Khizr explained everything, that as for the boat, it belonged to some poor man who worked on the river, and I wished that I should damage it. And there was behind them a king who seized every boat by force. So as you know, that the king was about to take all the boats, and that particular boat, which was damaged, and as a Khizr put a hole into it, and that was the source of mean of income that for that poor person, and therefore that king would not take it because it's damaged. And then another incident was that as for the boy, his parents were believers, and we feared that he would overburden them by transgression and disbelief. And for the another reason, as for the wall, it belonged to the two orphan boys in the city, and there was beneath it a treasure for them, and their father had been righteous. So your Lord indeed intended that they reach maturity and extract their treasure as a mercy from your Lord. And I did it not of my own accord. That is the ta'wil of that about which you could not have patience. So these are all of the references, you know, which you can find in the Quran. And so now the question is, what is this Majmu'ul Bahrain? That the junction of two rivers. So as I said, that there would be many tawilat, or the esoteric meaning, or the wisdom would be there, and one which we can find here, the inner meaning. That's how Allama Sahib has explained that the two rivers represent to the physical presence of the Imam, and getting Imam's guidance physically. And then the next level is to gain Imam's spiritual guidance, spiritually connecting with the Imam, and getting Imam's guidance in the form of ta'id, which is the spiritual help. So that would be one aspect into it. And then the other one is, which I understood, and I'm still researching it, and I'm sure that we all are in quest to find out more about it. So in reference to that particular one, that Hazrat Khizr killed that the boy who was very mischievous and would be painful for their parents. So killing is it's in the inner sense, which Allama Sahib has also explained. Is killing is in the form of your carnal soul. To kill your carnal soul in order to experience that treasure within you. So let's just go with that sequence. In reference to two orphan boys, right? So two orphan, the boys would be the soul and the intellect, because the soul and the intellect would have not reached the maturity, as you know, in the story of Hazrat Musa and Hazrat Khizr, that Hazrat Khizr said that as they will reach to the maturity, when these kids will grow up and they will mature, they themselves would able to get that treasure beneath the wall. The wall which Hazrat Khizr built it, because there was the treasure underneath the wall, and he took no compensation or payment for that. So we connect this story to our own personal world, that in our personal world, in our inner world, our soul and intellect need that maturity, that nourishment. So as Khairuddin mentioned about one who recognizes himself, recognizes the Lord, as Mullah Ali alayhi salam said. So that self-recognition comes through the Imam, through Imam's guidance, and through the obedience to the Imam of the time. So that would be one aspect into it. And then we also look at this point of putting the whole in the boat. So boat would be an example of, like, reaching to the destiny. So what I understood, it's some of its inner meaning, I would say. Because we are not at the level to gain to do the wisdom or ta'wil. Of course, it's the Imam and the Peers and the Hujjats. So the some understanding, what I understood is that if there is any defect, as we reflect in our lives, spiritually and intellectually, if I have any errors, so I have to correct those errors. I have to correct myself in the remembrance of Ali Allah, in remembrance of Mawla, and engaging myself in acquiring more spiritual knowledge, and to polish myself, and to clean my own heart, the mirror which is within each of us, to see Imam's reflection, Imam's nur within us. As Peer said in the Ginan, that ji dil mahe deval pujiye, dil mahe dev duar, dil mahe Mawla ape wase, and dil mahe hove didar. So that didar, it's within us. But in order for us to explore Imam's nur within us, we have to get to that maturity level. We heard in this particular story. So that maturity comes through wisdom, through spiritual knowledge, which we gain from the Imam. And in that reference, it's very interesting that we also hear this hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that in that particular hadith which Prophet said, and I'm just going to paraphrase, Prophet said that the hikmat is the lost property of a momin. कि हिकमत जो है वो मोमिन की गुमशुदा मीरास है. So so hikmat is already, we can get to that level of wisdom because it's already within us, but how we can explore it through imam's help, through coming close to the imam. As in, in that reference, it's very interesting that there is another hadith of Prophet Muhammad, which you can also find in the book compiled by Dr. Faqih Sahib, in which Dr. Sahib has collected all the hadiths. And this hadith, which I'm going to paraphrase, in which Prophet Muhammad said that wisdom is divided into 10 parts. And Mullah Murtaza Ali alayhi salam has 9 parts, and 1 part is given to the people. And that particular 1 part which is given to the people, even Mullah Murtaza Ali knows more than that. So that would be one another point in that reference which we can understand. So in this particular, what we all can do, like personally, that we can cover this topic of ta'wil as we go by each Quranic verse, and we look into this all the Quranic references. And then in this one, it is the Quran Zahir and Batin, as you have heard that Prophet Muhammad himself said that he is the master of Tanzil, and Ali is the master of ta'wil, which is very, very significant. And then in this particular wisdom, as you also heard these terms from Maulana Hazimam's speech, the Word of God, art of man, that parables, allegories, metaphors, and symbol, because the Quranic language is very allegorical. Since it's allegorical, therefore we need to go into its inner meaning, its deeper meaning. And we cannot able to understand its deeper meaning by our own selves, because we are a partial intellect. We are akli juzvi, and Imam is the universal intellect, and Imam is strong in knowledge, as we have heard this phrase from the literature, from the Ismaili literature. Kamilun fi zatihi limukammilun fi ghairihi, that Imam is perfect and he makes others perfect. So the Imam is Maula Ali is referred to the custodian of spiritual knowledge, the custodian of ta'wil. And so here this question is that who can do the ta'wil? As nobody can do ta'wil, as Allama Sahib writes, nobody can do ta'wil without undergoing the personal resurrection, which is the result of dying before death, as the Holy Prophet has said. He who dies, indeed, his resurrection take place. Here I know the story of Hazrat Yusuf is another topic, and it requires a lot of research. But just I wanted to share here that ta'wil is also called ta'bir. And in this Quranic verse, you would also find that Hazrat Yusuf was given ta'wil, and Hazrat Yusuf was also the Imam also, that as we know in the Ismaili literature, that some of the prophets were also the Imams also. So this is the another one which is related to indeed the hadith of Khasifun Nal, and as you know that it refers to Maula Ali. And one day when a prophet was going with his companions, and at that time Prophet Muhammad's shoestring got broke, and at that time Hazrat Ali was fixing Prophet's shoe, and Prophet at that time said that I fought for the Tanzil, and there is someone who will fight for the ta'wil. And Prophet was asked that who is that individual, and Prophet said, the person who is fixing my shoes, the khasifun nal, the mender of the shoes. And this particular Quranic verse is very important. Surah 7, verse 52, Yoma, which has this word yati. And it is in several forms that the ta'wil comes and ta'wil will come. So it is in the present and also in the future. Because the ta'wil is something which is very dynamic, because in every time the Imam provides, and Imams bless us with its esoteric meanings through his faramins and through his guidance, not only in a physical sense but also in the spiritual way. So this is what I would suggest, that if every one of us, we can personally read all these sources and cover this course, because I just try to summarize some of the key points from this particular discourse, which is about ta'wil. And as we know, that this is just a humble attempt which I try to do, and there are many layers of meanings in the story of Hazrat Musa and Hazrat Khizr, and many other stories which we find in the Quran. So in the end, I would like to read Maulana Hazim Imam's Farman. And the reason why I picked up this particular Farman, which is from Diamond Jubilee 2017 2018, see how that Imam has used this word wisdom. And this is our privilege, that Imam is including us in this particular wisdom. So Imam said, please recite the salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. My beloved spiritual children, I have just been told that I need to go to the hall next door. I look forward to seeing the Jamaat next door. But remember that I am always with you, always, always, always with you, in my heart, in my love, in my affection, in my wisdom. Khanavadan, Khanavadan, Khanavadan. So Imam is using this word, and Imam said that that I am always with you, always, always, always with you, in my heart, in my love, in my affection, in my wisdom. That we are in Imam's wisdom. That is our privilege, that we all are so humble that Imam is using these powerful words to encourage us to search for the wisdom, and to get into this personal search for esoteric knowledge, for spiritual knowledge. And in the end, I would conclude with Hakim P. Nasir Khusro's verse, which I can just paraphrase because I didn't remember its Persian text. Hakim P. Nasir Khusro said that become a tourist and explore your inner world. So as in the story of Hazrat Musa and Hazrat Khizr, that the treasure which those two orphan boys, they are not able to get to that treasure because they are not mature enough, they would not understand. So similarly, everything is within us, as Maulana Murtaza alayhi salam said, that do you think that you are a small body while the whole cosmos is enfolded within you? So in order for us to explore that, we just have to engage ourselves in the immense love for the Imam, love for our Ismaili brothers and sisters, for the humanity and the creatures around us, and to offer our help to each other whatever we can. So thank you so much. And if I can able to answer any questions, I will try my best.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Shukran lillah, walhamdulillah. Friends, if you would like to post any questions or any comments, you can post it in the chat or unmute your devices and come forward. Meanwhile, friends are texting the questions. One of the friend asked, how do we measure for ourselves? What is the information? What is the knowledge? And what is the wisdom?
Okay. That would be a good question. So in reference to like, a wisdom or ta'wil, which is something very, very spiritual. So if we feel like, the term which we have in the Ismaili literature like ta'id or spiritual help. So the spiritual help, and we feel the Imam's blessing and Imam's closeness, then that would be the example that we are getting, because we cannot do ta'wil or wisdom, because that's only the Pir and the Imam can do that. We can get a reflection of it. We can get ta'id through Imam's help, if we are able to understand a Quranic verse in its inner meaning. So that would be from Imam's ta'id and Imam's spiritual help. So that would be something, unique experience that we can feel, and it can give us more happiness, like spiritual happiness, and we feel very happy about it. So these are some of the indications or some of the symbols that it will be very unique in our understanding, that we haven't heard it before and we haven't thought it in that way. So that could be, one thought.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Another question is, how do we gain or learn about wisdom?
How we can learn it? So we can able to learn it from like our Ismailis or sources, like from the books of our dais and peers, because they have provided us. Because they have shared their experience with us, like the literature of Pir Sadruddin and Pir Hassan Kabiruddin. How Pir said in the Ginan that Ametu Najare Dita, that Pir have seen it. And their knowledge is experiential knowledge. So they are at the level of Haqqul Yaqeen, as you all are familiar with these three terms: Ilmul Yaqeen, Ainul Yaqeen, and Haqqul Yaqeen, knowledge of certainty, eye of certainty, and truth of certainty. So to attempt that, we can read as much as we can, in addition to reading, engaging ourselves in Giryozari, personal supplication, talking to the Imam in our own language, Urdu, English, Gujarati, and just communicating with the Imam, just talking to the Imam that help me, conversation in a spiritual sense with the Imam. When Imam says that I'm always with you, then when Imam is with us, why not we activate that power, activate that skill which we have within us.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Would you want to elaborate on the saying that how can we as students, as learning, can gain more wisdom?
So as students, how we can gain it, it's like making a habit of like reading our esoteric literature on a daily basis. Like, for example, pick up the Usul-e-Din Farman of Imam Sultan Musa alayhi salam, or chapter 8, Islam is the religion of my ancestor, in which Imam Sultan Musa talked about like every atom, every molecule has soul in it. So not only reading, but thinking about it, reflecting it, why it's in this way, reflecting it, and also discussing with with our friends. So that will inspire us. Like, for example, in these Diamond Jubilee books, which which we have here, in one of the Farmans, Imam said that that we should read, discuss, and reflect Imam's Farman. So, of course, in Imam's Faramin, we find wisdom. In Imam's Faramin, we find like inner meanings. Like, for example, I can recall one Farman of Imam Sultan Musa, which I have read in Gujarati, and in which Imam Sutamosha said, "Ki Adam thi to tamaro sharir banyo che, inati pehle tame kya hata?" So Imam said that before Hazrat Adam, you were in the form of tame alami zar mahata. We are in the form of particles. We are in the world of alami zar, the world of particles. And then Imam said that before world of particles, before alami zar, where were you? So Imam said that you were in La Makan. So see, this is just one example, reading more of Maulana Hazim Imam's Faramin, Imam Sultan Musha alayhi salam Faramins. Those are related to spiritual progress. So that would be just my
in your permission, may I add a little bit, please?
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think the wisdom also come from faith. Be very honest, sincere, be very truthful. Don't let anything come across your life or your daily material life. Make it so pure and be very punctual and honest with your word. The wisdom, inshallah, come to you, because wisdom is only gift from divine. It's from Imam.
Yes.
And the ta'wil, you can do ta'wil too, because Ismaili, they are arif. They know Imam of the time. If you study the Sufism, Rumi, Attar, they were not Ismaili. And even Nasir Khisraw, when he bayat to Imam, he find the master of the time. When he find the Insani Kamil, then he did Ta'wil. And our Jamaat, not all of them, I don't think we have much Ismaili now. I will argue even 50 Ismaili you will not find. We born in Ismaili faith, Shukr Mawla. There's lots of things being easy for us, but still we are struggling to understand our Imam, our faith, our deen. That's the weakness. If you understand that, then you can do Tawil. Imam give to you, Mawla give to you everything. You all remember, Allah says, وَنَفَقْتُهُمْ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِ فَقَهُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. Allah give you the ruh. You are that Buzurg ruh, your Ashraful Makhluqat, your Fatabarakallah Ahsanul Khaliqin. Allah created the best of creation. You have everything. All the kainat is in you. Every single thing you see in the universe, its example is in you. Don't think you're so weak or so. Don't sell yourself so cheap. You have everything. Only Shukr Mawla, you know the master of the time and age. Then you can do lots. Inshallah, wisdom come to you. Create in your lifetime love, compassion. I say this so many times, and sometimes it's too boring for some to keep repeating love. But trust me, when you love, from love you spin and dance, and you will be very light and you will fly like angel. You can get everything you want because you are Arif. You know the master of the time. Shukr Mawla. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing. Yes, please.
Yali Madat Alwaiz. You just mentioned a few minutes ago that we were in Al-Mazar, but then I didn't hear what you said before Al-Mazar. Where were we?
Yes, so in this Farman of Imam Sultan Moshe alayhi salam, which I'm also reflecting, and there are many layers of meaning into it. So then Imam said that before Al-Mizar, where were you? So Imam Sultan Moshe said that we were in La Makan. We were
La Makan.
Yeah, we were in.
Can you elaborate what that means, please?
So that would be, in my humble understanding, would be, when we are in the spiritual world, right? In the spiritual world, we would say, or you would say that in the noor of Allah, we can say. So that would be just one understanding of mine. I know this is a very spirituality is a very it's difficult, but yes, we can understand through Imam's help and Imam's rahmat and Imam's ta'eed, and as earlier was mentioned about a love for the Imam, love for for the humanity, it's very significant. And it just reminds me hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallam, in which Prophet said that love for the Ali burns our sin as the fire burns the dry woods.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. There is a friend's question. Please elaborate your comment. Was struggling to understand to hear that Tawil only gotten at a level, we can only get Tawil only at a level of Ainul Yaqeen, as nowadays we hear many sessions on Quran and on the Tawil given to us.
Yes. So those, like for example, the Peer, they are at the level of Haqqul Yaqeen, right? They have experienced it, and and they are providing and they are sharing the Tawil to us. Like for example, Hakim Pir Nasir Khusro, that he submitted to the Imam and complete submission and going through that level and reaching at the level of Haqqul Yaqeen. The level of experiencing it. So with that, from that stage, P. Nasir Khusro has given us the Tawil, because he was, given, or he was ata kiya gaya in Pir Hakim Nasir Khusro ko from the Imam, right? So what we are reading is the already Tawil which is given to us by the Imam or by the Pirs. And so we are in that search, and we are finding it, and we are exploring it through their experience that they have given us.
So their Ainul Yaqeen and ours will be at Ilmul
Yaqeen. So they are at the level of Haqqul Yaqeen, and we are at the level of Ilmul Yaqeen. So Ilmul Yaqeen, that we believe that what they have explained to us, it's true, because they have gone through Imam's guidance and that spiritual experience. So for example, a very common example is the that I haven't seen the mango, and I heard about it, right? And someone who has experienced it, the mango tastes good. So that person is at the level of Haqqul Yaqeen. And then the person who is experiencing and having taste of this particular fruit, then it's at the level of Ilmul Yaqeen. And then experiencing it, and then going through it, and then gradually, we move to that level from Ilmul Yaqeen to Ainul Yaqeen, and that it's up to Imam's, blessing that how far we go, right? Our spiritual elevation, and it's up to the Imam's blessing on us.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Friends, if you have any other questions, any comments, please come forward. You can unmute your devices and come forward.
Yes, please. And if anybody would like to share any of your thoughts, any point you have, additional point in reference to wisdom or in reference to the story of Hazrat Musa and Hazrat Khizr, please feel free to share. As I said, that this is just a humble attempt, and there is more to find out and more to learn.
I have a quick question. Can you elaborate on the colors red, green, and white that is pertaining to the throne? These colors were used in the throne?
You mean that, the Ismaili Taj, you mean?
Well, yeah, the Taj, like, why were those colors used, and what is the meaning of those colors?
Oh, so this is a very interesting question. So what there is an article which is by Allama Sahib in one of the books. I'm just trying to recall that. But the red is, my humble understanding is, red is the color of sacrifice, and the green color, green is the color of like freshness, you would say, like spiritual freshness. And then the white is the color of like color of Noor. So this is what I have read in some of the Ismaili text. And read in the sense it's, sacrifice, going through the, struggle and trial and tribulation also, but also in addition to sacrifice too. So that's what I can, recall so far, but I know it's still, there will be many more meanings in it.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. So red is sacrifice, you said. Green would be prosperity, and
Yes.
white would be purity. Subhanallah.
Purity.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Any other questions or any other comments, friends? Come forward. Caller 2, do you have any questions or comments? Come, you can talk. Okay, if there are no questions, I would just wanted to share one verse. Fikr Quran hai yaqinan kulli kulliyate ulum. Zarrae az ilm hikmat hai nahi bahar kahi. So thank you so much for sharing these pearls of intellect and pearls of wisdom with us. And we would love for you to come back on the platform and, give us these beautiful sessions so we can all learn and progress together.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all our spiritual brothers and sisters and everyone for joining. It's a really spiritual joy and happiness to share, even though we still need to learn a lot and to engage more in the remembrance of Mawla. So lastly, I just want to share with you that please do read in your leisure time the whole chapter on wisdom, which is there. So there are all the hadiths which Prophet said related to wisdom. And this particular hadith which I shared about wisdom is divided into 10 parts. It's also from that particular chapter on wisdom. So thank you so much. Yali Madad.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Yali Madad. Thank you, friends.
Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Thank you so much. Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Thank you, Yali Madad.
Thank you, and Yali Madad.
Thank you so much, Riyaz sir. Yali Madad.
Thank you, Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, thank you.
Yali Madad.
Pehchan आवाज?
Munira, thank you. Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.